Hey YouTubers, Red Razor 56 here today. A short video on the situation of checking the oil on your Razor in the 800 platform. That's the 800, 800S, and the 800 four-seater. There's an access panel behind the rear seats on the four-seater or on the front seats, or the only two seats on the regular Razor two-seater. Prior to what I did, you're required to take out the passenger seat and the driver's seat, which would be over there, and pull the access panel to get access to the dipstick, which is right there. And human nature, you're in a hurry, you want to go for a ride, you haven't checked your oil in a couple of days, it's the middle of the summer. These things consume oil, that's all there is to it, especially when they get into higher mileage. We're up near 5,000. And unfortunately it is starting to use a little bit of oil, and I've noticed when I check it I might need to add 2 or 3 ounces to bring it up to full after a 50-mile ride. So one of the choices that was offered by our fantastic group of aftermarket guys, by the way, the Razor platform is targeted by more aftermarket companies than all of the other side-by-side sport vehicles out there combined. Just go on their forums and look, and you'll see that, like on razorforums.net, terrific forum. You can learn so much there about your machine and maintain your own machine and learn tricks and tips from other guys. One of the aftermarket companies does offer a dipstick relocation kit, which goes down just ahead of the passenger rear tire, and it goes back in here somewhere and sticks out, and it gives you access that you don't have to pull out the seats and the access panel. We ride very hostile trails with lots and lots of rocks, mud, cross a lot of water. My big concern was that dipstick could be back there, and with that plastic cap on the end, a rock could possibly get a hold of it and maybe knock the cap loose or something like that, and then you have a catastrophe on your hands. So I elected to keep the dipstick right where it was, not spending any money, but just cutting an access hole where you can reach in there. Still going to have to take out the passenger seat, which is a snap. Really, it comes out in 2 seconds. Let me pull this access panel out, and I've marked my locking ring here with some red paint. I've got an index mark here where it's supposed to go. And anybody that does this on a regular basis, you know darn right well that thing can be hard to figure out where it's supposed to be. So let's pull this access panel out here, and I'll show you what I did. And you're looking at that hole going, what in the world did he do? Well, in reality, you need a rectangle that's approximately 3 inches left to right and approximately 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches top to bottom. And it starts, you need to start it right about where the bend begins on the plastic, east and west, and then your north and south is going to be about 1.75 inches up and down. And that prominent part of the access cover starts about 3/4 of an inch over. Anything that you were to cut out here, this was totally unnecessary right here. I did an eyeball on it, did a lot of measurements, and I drilled a little pilot hole and looked in there with a flashlight, and it looked like I was dead on for the dipstick. But apparently Anheuser-Busch had a little help in doing the measurements and dimensions and everything. And I missed it by a country mile. So no big deal. I'm going to put a rubber flap. I'm going to bust a rivet through right here, and I've got a nice little piece of lightweight rubber floor mat, and I'll cut it out in a big square shape here, and it'll go over. And that'll cover the area, keep debris from going forward and backward, water, hot air, dirt, dust, whatever. But one of the cool things is you'll notice, you got to have fun with your Razor. That's why you bought it. You didn't buy this toy for hauling hay to the livestock. This is a play toy right here. Got to have a little fun with it. And I noticed that that hole winds up being the shape of a human liver when you're sitting down. Now, I know you took anatomy and all that. When you're standing up, the liver looks like a chicken breast or something, but when you're sitting down, that's actually the shape of a human liver. And so you've had a big day on the trails, and a lot of carrying on and so forth, and man, your liver's just completely just sticking out the back so bad you can't hardly get comfortable in the seat. So now if you're riding right side, there's a place where your liver can go through, and I'll prove it, that this is pretty much the shape of a human liver in the seated position after you've been out on the trails all day. And watch this. Look at that. Goes right through. Huh. Surprised you didn't know that. Anyway, guys, all kidding aside, drink responsibly on the trail. You're out there to have a good time. Don't wind up in the newspaper over what's supposed to be a fun and exciting off-road sport. And Red Razor 56 saying, live to ride another day.